Hello everyone, my name is Joe Tehili, founder Blockchain Realtor Africa, and right here on the call with me is Mr. Jake Ihei. He's the COO for Blockchain Realtor Africa. And tonight we'll be having the conversation on, is blockchain tokenization really viable for the Africa real estate market? It's going to be a discussion, but aside that, we're going to have some other team activities like book review, movie review at the later end of the session, and then also give us heads up for what we'll be discussing this coming Saturday. So once again, thank you for joining us. Um, I want to confirm if you can still hear me before we continue. Can everyone hear me? Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, so let us copy this meeting link, screenshot what you are watching right now, and distribute it to whichever group you belong on your social media status, stories, and invite a friend. Let's have an open-minded conversation. Tonight we'll be touching on governments or country regulations regards digital assets, both for Nigeria, South Africa, Kenya, and how these laws and regulations positively or negatively impact the blockchain tokenization industry or the blockchain real estate industry in the African market. So it's a very, very needed discussion that we will be having here tonight. And I want you all to actively participate. I know a number of you are joining from YouTube, yes. However, however, I'll be asking some questions, and I would like your active interactions. You could respond via comments, or you could ask to be invited to speak. That's on YouTube, so that you can speak via words instead of just comment section. So once again, you're welcome to tonight's session. So because I am on the back end here, it is not very easy for me to see what is going on right here on YouTube, and I cannot really see comment section. So Mr. Jake, I will appreciate if um, or any of the admins, because I know Mr. Jake is also actively on this session. So any of the admins on the call, I will appreciate if you can perhaps call my attention to any comments on the YouTube channel or anything that my attention needs to be called to. Yes? Okay. So let's continue with today's conversation.
All right, Mr. Joe, just so you know, your camera is sort of on uh, landscape mode.
Okay. I know what happened. How let me change it back. Thanks for calling that to my attention. Is it back now? Is it back?
Yes, it is. This is good.
Okay, great. So quickly, let's get some more persons in the house while we continue this conversation. So let me just get into it while our other guests also join us shortly. So the conversation tonight is blockchain tokenization really viable for the Africa real estate market? I would like to get your own thoughts. Mr. Jake, we can start from you. What do you think about that question? Is blockchain tokenization really viable? Viable in the sense of necessary, um, workable in the Nigeria Africa real estate market? Mr. Jake, let me start from you. What do you think? Are you there?
Okay, yes, I am here. Thank you so much for that very, very lovely question, Mr. Joe. While I might not know everything, but my opinion and from what I've seen so far, I'm just going to share just a tip from what I know or seeing the trend go. I don't know if you can hear me, sir.
Yes, very clearly.
Okay, great, great. Well, I know that the blockchain technology is maybe not necessary to build or sell properties. When people hear it and they think, okay, maybe we're trying to build properties, or you could use the blockchain to build properties. Not really, but I know that it is a necessary or critical tool for solving this Nigeria's severe real estate problems. So we're talking about land fraud. We are talking about the multiple allocations that they do. We're selling lands to several people. We're talking about the transaction delays that
Mr. Jake,
people.
let me clap for you before you say everything that I'm supposed to say. Fantastic.
Okay. Okay, but just my answer is yes, it is necessary. It is. I think it's very important because if you
Thank
look
you,
at
thank you, thank you
the
very
crypto
much.
space, so that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So yes, yes, blockchain tokenization is viable. It is necessary. It is important for the African real estate market. In fact, experts in the real estate and even blockchain sector across the world say that Nigeria is one of the is going to be one of the big blockchain blockchain real estate countries in the world over time. That is what is being said. So let's just get into it. So yes, blockchain tokenization is viable, but but there's a but there. It is still early. One of our trainers during the Blockchain Realtor Academy, Mr. Simeon Nofa, is a veteran. He's the co-convener of the Lagos Blockchain Week. By the way, Lagos Blockchain Week is happening on the 13th of July to 17th, if I'm correct. Should plan to attend. It's happening right here in Lagos. I'll be there live myself. So, Mr. Simeon Nofa said that blockchain tokenization itself is still very early in the Nigerian market. So it's there's still a large market for it. And what we are doing right now, we are actually looking forward to more minds, more real estate companies adopt this technology. Well, the future winners in Africa will not simply be crypto companies, they will be real estate companies who are backed by blockchain network. So I think it's going to get very clear what is blockchain tokenization or real estate tokenization. It simply means creating digital representation for physical properties, be it land or house. Do you understand that? Digital representation in form of tokens. So let me go a little bit deep. So I operate more in the land space more than the housing space currently, and so I'll be using land as an example. So let's say we have a land of 500 square meters per plot, right? For one plot. Usually in the market right now, it's one person that is supposed to buy that one plot. But with tokenization, I can decide to break this 500 square meters into five five factions. Are you getting me? Five factions. And so instead of one person buying 500 square meters, five people can buy that same land 100 square meters each. In technical terms, this is called fractional ownership, where you own a fraction of a full plot of land. So let's say this 500 square meter land costs 500 million
Sorry
naira.
to cut you short, Mr. Joe, but just so you know, your camera is turned off.
Okay, okay, just a minute. Oh. I'm trying to avoid my camera showing sideways. That's why I had to turn it off. Okay, maybe.
That's understandable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said that's understandable, sir.
Okay, so let's just go ahead. Let's just go ahead. So let's say this 500 square meters now is broken down into five layers. Sorry, this 500 square meter of land is costing 500 million naira to buy. Initially, it required just one person to pay 500 million naira to own the property, maybe instrumentally or whichever way. But now, broken into five, it means five people can pay 100 million naira each to own this property. That means each of these persons will own 100 square meters of the 500 square meters. I'm using easy maths to make it easily understandable. But let's go further and say instead of five people, let's make it available to 50 people. Do you know what that means? It means that 50 people will now own, guess what, 10 square meter each. Am I correct? 100. Yes, we now own 10 square meter each of this land. Do you understand? So instead of them bringing 100 million each, they can bring 10 million naira each to own this property. If you take it further, this is possible with blockchain tokenization. If you take it further, it simply means that instead of 50 people now, 500 people can own this 500 square meters. So it means that each of them now own one square meter. How much do they need to come into this property? They don't need a 100 million. They don't need 10 million. They need how much? 1 million naira. Are you seeing it? 500 people, more persons can come. So I want you to get something. There is a difference between fractional ownership and real estate tokenization or blockchain tokenization. So fractional ownership is the division part where different persons can own fractions of the land. Yeah. But tokenization is now creating a blockchain digital token to represent the physical assets that these people own. Do you understand? This is now taking it up a notch. And yes, fractional ownership can operate on its own without tokenization. I really want to move fast for the other aspects that we have. So I hope that part is clear. Now, why is tokenization? Um, why is tokenization? Just a minute. I'm trying to see do it in a way that I can also still turn on my video for everyone to see and everyone can follow easily. Mr. Jake, are you there? Can you still hear me?
Oh yes, sir, we can
Okay, great.
clearly.
Awesome, awesome. Just a minute, please. Aha. Aha. I'm trying to see a way that I can still turn on my screen and also share my screen so you can actually follow me deeply. Good. So I want to confirm, are there persons watching us on YouTube now? Can you hear me? Those of us on YouTube, can you hear me clearly? Can you see me now? So I also want to share my screen. So let me know if my camera adjusts in any way at all. So can you see my screen properly? Yes, can you see my screen? And is my video still visible? Admin? Well, let me continue speaking while you confirm that. Why tokenization makes sense for Africa? Now, we have a lot of challenges in Africa. From my screen, you see land fraud, of course, lack of liquidity, high entry barrier, inflation consistently happening, diaspora investment opportunity. Um, there are a lot of challenges because people in diaspora, there's money to invest back in our home country, but they are afraid. A lot of them have been duped. A lot of them have been scammed. Now, what tokenization does is with blockchain, you know, there's transparency. You can easily see every transaction, track every transaction, and a lot of things can be easily tracked. That's with the blockchain. Am I correct? Admin, you've not answered my question. Can you see what I am showing on my screen? And it's my video still showing fully, Mr. Jake?
Oh, yes, we can. We can hear you and we can see your screen, even on YouTube.
Okay, and are you still seeing my video clearly?
We can only see your screen right now. We can't actually
Okay, fine.
see
Let's just
you.
see. Let's just focus on my screen then. Okay,
Okay.
great. So, um, with tokenization, all these challenges of lack of trust is eliminated. Or with tokenization, more persons can come into the real estate sector even at small amounts. Are we following? And with tokenization, people in the diaspora can trust us more to invest in our property. So this is where we are. This is what we are talking about. That technologically, Africa is taking the reins and saying yes, we are ready. We are still going to touch on several laws across African states that have been passed to support blockchain and tokenization in general. But for now, let's look at this aspect. Technologically, Africa to an extent is ready, but structurally, we know that we still have quite the journey to go. Yeah, so why is tokenization still early in Africa or Nigeria as a whole? We still have challenges with land documentation. Um, there's still this there's still this fear that you buy land, one person can come and buy that same land that you have bought, and tomorrow you are trying to find who exactly is your correct owner. In fact, you take the case to court, and everybody is presenting their own documents. That's how crazy it is. But you know that with the blockchain, duplicate documents are difficult to create. It's almost impossible. So regulatory uncertainty, yeah. So as at 2024, even to trade cryptocurrency was illegal. You know, we had a lot of back and forth. We had the time when government even sanctioned Binance. Binance removed the Nigerian naira from their network. It was a whole lot. A reason why there's a lot of uncertainty is because the African government find that there's a lot of money moving across the blockchain space that cannot be tracked. Sorry, I think someone is calling me. That cannot be tracked. And put my phone on do not disturb. A lot of money coming in. Please confirm if you can still see my screen. Can you? Admin, can you still see my
Yes.
screen?
Yes, we
Yes.
can.
So a lot
Yes.
of money is circulating in the country through the blockchain space that cannot be tracked by the GDP of the country. Do you understand? So that's brought a lot of challenges. But I was opportune to be in a number of conferences, especially last year, 2025, where the chairman of the Security and Exchange Commission of Nigeria was in attendance and he spoke. That man is very intelligent. He even has a PhD in digital assets. So to show you how very, very intelligent he is. So what they did is they now had to send government representatives to study this blockchain security, digital tokens, study all of its laws and see how they can properly enforce government laws around it. Hope you know that money you get from cryptocurrency exchange is now being taxed, unlike before. So this is because after the first ban, government had to dive deep into studies of the market, and they now later made it okay. Yes, blockchain tokenization is now worthy to be called an official asset, and all of this was possible first from the US. Remember, it was after Trump came into presidency that he legalized cryptocurrency very, very well. And he also promoted it. If you observe, immediately Trump entered, I think Bitcoin went to, I think was that the first time it went to $100,000. Can we remember that? So another reason why that increase happened was Trump announced that US is going to open a Bitcoin treasury where they are targeted at between now and I can't remember the year, maybe 2030 or thereabout. They want to own, is it 2 million Bitcoin? 2 million. I'm not very sure of the amount, but if I'm correct, 2 million Bitcoin, and they are actively on a, is it monthly or yearly basis, acquiring more and more Bitcoin. So you know how the, let me not go into the explanation of how Bitcoin or the cryptocurrency space operate because of time. Um, what's my time now? I need to round up in the next 5 minutes, so I'll be quite fast. So, ISA is the Nigeria Investment and Securities Act that was passed in 2025 to support cryptocurrency, digital assets, virtual assets, and investments contract under the SEC. Does that make sense? If you have not gone through these documents and you are operating in this space, I want to encourage you to do that. So what they did was increase investors' confidence. People who wanted to invest in blockchain are no longer afraid that government. You know, there was a time where if anything cryptocurrency or blockchain is linked to a transfer you are doing from your bank account will be blocked. Can you remember? As at 2024, in fact, even early 2025. So early 2025, when ISA came out that you can now freely transact using cryptocurrency and all the likes. So is there institutional participation here? Big organizations can now come in, better startup funding, companies or venture capitalists can openly fund cryptocurrency projects, unlike before where SEC was frowning. Do you understand? Frowning against it. So SEC oversight reduces scam risk. So now SEC is actively involved. So it is difficult for fake crypto projects to last. Ponzi schemes are easily tracked down and brought down. Unregistered. One of the challenges that is in the blockchain tokenization space is SEC regulation. There's a high cost for legally getting a license to operate as a blockchain tokenized company. So it's a whole lot of conversation, but it's also to reduce fraud and a lot of Ponzi schemes as well. Then other African countries that are supporting digital asset regulation. Let's look at South Africa. Can you remember the Financial Sector Conduct Authority that was also released in 2025? It approved hundreds of crypto asset service providers. Yeah, are we following? I want to be fast here. Kenya also did the same thing with its virtual asset service provider, also 2025. So you can see the change from 2025. A lot of shifts happened, and the shift came about when Trump came to power and personally pioneered cryptocurrency and the blockchain space a lot. So let's look at some successful African and blockchain tokenization brands. The top of my list always is House Africa, who currently have two projects, but one is much more common, which is Sitemap. Oh, what's going on? Yeah, which is Sitemap. Yeah, yes, Sitemap and PropVat. In 2019, they raised $400,000, mainly from Y Combinator. They also released some funds from this other um, platforms that you are seeing, Adavas, Cardano ecosystem, and the likes. So, yeah, Sitemap is still actively today in the blockchain tokenization space. You can see all of the work that they do. And yeah, one of the things that made them succeed was that they moved fast, they gained trust, they even worked with governments when it comes to regulating land titles and the likes. But the progress has been quite slow. So over time, they had to transition to working with real estate developers for regulating their land titles and all the likes. So they've really done a great job. That's especially in Nigeria. They are not just restricted to Nigeria alone. So blockchain housing finance infrastructure. If you look, this was also South Africa slash Mozambique, and they came in through Empower. Empower basically is to provide more like mortgage finance for low income earners who own property. Yes, basically they want to, just like Nigeria that will have I think 21 million housing deficit, so also it is in several African countries, and Empower is one of those projects that is helping to solve that problem. South Africa also has this VALR, that's VALR company. Are you seeing this? I'm trying to move fast because of our other conversations as well. Safari network and the likes. You can take your time to do further research on this. Um, my time is actually exhausted from the time that our invite our hosts gave me. So, why they actually work in Africa, land verification platforms like um, House Africa, yeah, fractional ownership scheme. They also allow easy, what they call it, easy entry, easy entry. So if you don't need so much money now to come into the real estate space, does that make sense? So if this is more like for anybody watching this on YouTube and say they want to come into the blockchain tokenization space for their real estate project, if you just come and start with building a cryptocurrency and hyping it, trust me, it will fall, it will fail. Yes, if you, of course, you cannot ignore SEC, they will come for you. You have to follow proper regulations and laws. Then you cannot do tokenization without having real land or assets to tokenize. Does that make sense? So I really want to chip in here. I love what Boreal and Homes are doing with their fractional ownership scheme, where I think currently it's 2 to 6 persons can come together to own a single plot of land. You guys can be friends among yourself, decide how you're going to pay. And I believe over time that's going to evolve to blockchain tokenization as well. So this is basically advice for anyone who is looking to start with blockchain tokenization in their space. I believe you can see what I'm showing on my screen. I'm trying to move fast. So what big opportunity no one is talking about? Blockchain power land infrastructure. So yeah, I think with this I've come to the end of my conversation. Is blockchain tokenization really viable for the Nigeria Africa real estate market? Obviously, absolutely, yes, it is. But you have to follow through all the processes that we have indicated and mentioned above. Thank you. So, before we move on to the next conversation, which is, I think, book review, does anyone have any questions for me? Does anyone have any questions for me? Yes? Is there any question on YouTube? Admin, please follow up. Is there any questions on YouTube? So Jake, are you there?
Oh, yes, thank you so much, Mr. Joe. That was quite massive and insightful what you just shared with us. Thank you. I don't know if anybody has anything they would like to share on YouTube. I don't know if you can see the YouTube. We have quite a number of engagements on there. Like people are dropping reactions and people are also dropping comments. If you can see it, we have a number of persons here dropping fire emojis, dropping love and all. And for those who are also asking if this will be saved for watch later, I can only advise you to stay tuned and also try and watch the live session within the next 24 hours. Every other information is going to be shared with everybody on live. Just stay tuned and stay with us. Mr. Joe, you can carry on if you have any questions for us or any.
Okay, thank you. So I think the next on our agenda is the book review. The team started a read and earn initiative this week, in which that every day you're supposed to read particular pages of a book, and the person with the highest every day you're supposed to pick some key points that you learned in the book to share in the community. So anyone that shared the most, the person who shared first and the person who shared the most is supposed to get a reward uh, today. So from our feedback, I observed that Justina was the person who did the highest reward and review, and she's going to get light dinner for herself. So congratulations, Justina, on being the highest. And we're going to continue this week. More pages to be. Yes, clap for her. Clap for her. She did an amazing job. We're going to continue this week. Share more pages. Whatever you read, you share it in the community, and you're going to get your gift. So please, you can send your account details to me. If you that this is for subsequent ones, just now you can send to me. For other ones, you can send to me directly, or you send to our admin, and you'll get credited your reward. So we'll continue again this week. Make sure you read, be the first. Don't wait for they admit to say, oh, drop your key points for the book, read it, share it in the group, and we'll celebrate you. So, admin, are you ready for us? That's for our book review. You have I know I ate into your time, so want to give you like 15 minutes max, maybe 5 minutes to say your session, and then 10 minutes for interactions on the book review. So over to you.
Okay, good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. Thank you, Mr. Joe, for the gift as well.
You're welcome.
All right. So very quickly, we'll be having the review. But before we start, I would like to know, were we able to read at least, even if it was few pages from the book during the week? How many of us was able to read?
Personally, I read I think to chapter 1. Yes. Your first year in real estate is the title of the book. Am I correct?
Yes,
By
by Dexter.
Yes, by Zela. So yes, I read to chapter 1.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you. All right. So I'll just also encourage every one of us to please take at least little time of our time to read the book, and that is why we have actually break it down so that it will be easier. Sometimes we can like read very early, at least few pages from the one we are supposed to read that day. Then maybe during work hour, maybe we have break, we can just quickly read through. So very quickly, let me share my screen.
So why she's sharing her screen, I want to say that book, Your First Year in Real Estate, is actually a must read for anyone operating in the real estate space. If you really want to excel in any field, you should read as much material, study as much material on that book, on that in that field. Even not before, even while you are in the field, you should continue consuming material, attending conferences, and making sure you are adept in that field. Over to you, Justina.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. John. Okay, so the book we're reviewing is Your First Year in Real Estate by Dexela. And I would say that this book, most of the things, although I haven't gone to other chapters, like maybe towards the end of the book, but from what I've read from the book, it's just like I know it is most of the things that was said in that book is what most of us have been hearing from time to time, just the regular thing that we hear. And
Sorry to interrupt you, Justina. I believe we read from page 1 to 81 this week. Yeah.
no, 106
Okay, so
was
this week was
stopped.
page 1 to 106. Great.
Yes,
So I'm saying this. You have 5 minutes for a session, and the other 10 minutes will be for interaction. All
yes.
right, good.
The slide is very short, very quick. Okay, so however, I'll just say that this book is just like should serve like a reminder and something that actually pushes us to act according to things that we learn. So first, real estate is not just about properties. It is first a people business built on trust and relationship. So the book made us to understand that, and the author made us to understand that real estate is not just about properties, but it is about building trust and relationship with people. Also, real estate to make sales or to excel, let me not use to make sales, to excel in the real estate space requires a mindset. It requires mindset. So for you to succeed in the real estate space, it requires you to be consistent, to be disciplined, and also to be patient. I'm sure a number of us that have had conversations with clients, that have had to pitch to people, would have realized that patience is actually very important in this real estate game. Also, continuous learning. We should subject ourselves to continuous learning if we want to succeed in the real estate space. So the author also talked about why many agents fail, why a lot of agents fail in the real estate space. Many agents expect quick money. So from the title of this book, it's basically focusing more on people that are just, like your first year in real estate. Let's say you are just starting, you're just getting into the business, how to understand the system and all of that. So, but one mistake that a lot of agents make is that we expect quick money. So the book explains that growth comes through persistence and daily effort. So we should not just relax and expect the money to come, but then we should be consistent. Also, the book emphasized on prospecting. Prospecting is the lifeline of real estate. Networking, follow-up, and communications are essential for growth. We all know what prospecting means, which is like trying to get people to show interest in the property and all of that. So prospecting is something that would always happen in real estate. Networking, follow-up, and communications are essential. So if we want to excel in the real estate space, we have to know how to network and prospect very well. Also, time management. We need to also, because if you are like communicating with people, a lot of people have many other things that they do. So as a real estate agent or as a real estate professional, you should know how to manage time. Client communication, successful agent focus on income producing activities, prospecting, client communication, follow-up, market knowledge. But in amidst all of these things, we still have to understand how to manage time and be able to do all of these things accordingly. Also, we need to also invest in our developments, our personal developments. So business growth often follows personal growth. Yes, mindset, confidence, and self-improvement greatly affect success. So in fact, in every business that we do in life, even outside real estate, what determines growth is personal development. So we need to, as a real estate agent, we need to invest in developments, learning day by day. So in summary, what are the things that we need to take notes? One, real estate is a people business, like business of the people. Also, rejection is normal. Yes, it is normal to be rejected, but you just have to be consistent. Consistency matters. Also, we need to learn how to build good relationship with people, because it is relationship that we build with people that will determine the trust. And when there is trust, it's like it is more like a way to generate referrals, and in fact the sales will begin to happen naturally. Also, we need to cultivate the habit of learning day by day and improving on our knowledge. I think this is the end of my slides. Like I said, the review is going to be a very short one. So we'll now have like question answer session, or what we also noted from the book while we were reading, just basically conversation. Although I have some questions here that I would like to ask us, but before that, I don't know if anyone has anything to say, probably what you picked out from the book, or a question, something not really clear. Yes, we have, we can just unmute and speak.
Remember, they're on YouTube, so most persons can drop in the comment section or send
Yeah.
an invite to participate in the YouTube live. Okay, so thank you, Wayne, for that fantastic session. I can see a round of applause or appreciation from everyone. So thank you. Um, just to align with everything you said, there's a line where the author pointed out that your increase, your success, or your profits and growth is your income growth in sale is directly tied to your personal growth. He tied that to one of my uncle's quotes. I call Jim Rohn my uncle, Jim Rohn, who was an excellent international speaker and personal development coach. Where the author of the book quoted him, though. He said that formal education makes you a living. Do you get that? Formal education makes you a living, but self-education will make you a fortune. So what that simply means that the author also pointed where some persons want to graduate from school, they just say, oh, I'm done, I'll never pick a book in their life. So they end up missing the most important aspect of school, which is to develop in you the lifelong desire to continue to learn. So if you want to succeed in real estate sales or your real estate career, one primary development you must imbibe is learning, growth, reading, attending conferences, taking courses, constantly developing yourself. And the more you do that, the more you see your income start to match. Jimmy also said that your income does not far exceed your personal development. Thank you. So I think Oyin has some questions for us. I'll say admin should paste that question in on
Uh,
YouTube as well, YouTube comments. Go ahead, Oyin.
okay, just very quickly, Mr. Joe said something that made me remember what the author said in the book, that about people who like graduate from school and like decide that they won't touch book again and all of that. So the author said something about, if you graduate from school, that is actually the beginning. It is not the end of your maybe learning process or learning journey. It is actually the beginning. It is actually the beginning. So that made me think of it that, oh wow. So the fact that maybe you took a course, you graduated from a school, that's not the end. You still now to start learning. That's like the beginning again. What of all the things that you learned during the time that we were in school? So yeah, learning is a lifetime journey or process. Yeah.
Awesome. So let's look at, I think we can look at one of the questions because of time. So we'll enter the next section. So the first question there is, the author said, real estate is a people's business. What does it mean to you? You can drop your answer in the YouTube comment, or you can raise your hand to be invited on the YouTube live. Let's do that quickly. Let's just take on that question because of time. Just a minute. Going over to you so you can attend to if anybody has any answer to that.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay. Is there anyone who wants to answer the question? How is real estate a people's business? What does that mean to us personally? You know, everyone has different perspective of understanding something. So what does that actually means to us? Anyone? We can type in the comment section.
Let me call Doris. Doris, let me hear from you. What does it mean to say that real estate is a people's business? What does it mean to
Miss Doris. Okay. Maybe she's having issues with her network or something. Okay. I think I will just say my own perspective of what I think about that. So to me, I feel like the reason why the author said real estate is a business of the people or people business is because you are like dealing with people. You are selling to people. You are trying to get people to buy that thing, and this whole thing relates to. That's why there are some books about real estate sales that talks about psychological thinking, emotions, and all of that. And so, which literally means that for you to be able to sell to somebody, you have to understand that person. You have to understand the people, your target audience, what they need, and what you are giving to them. So it is a business of the people, which means you are selling to people. You are trying to get people to um okay. Miss Doris just sent a message to the chat box. So you are trying to get people to buy what you are selling. So basically, it is you are dealing with people, you are dealing with humans, and for you to do that, you have to understand how they think, what they want, and how to satisfy them to an extent.
Thank you. Just to add to that, one very important aspect you must pay attention to in the real estate industry is care. There's a statement that says that people don't care how much you know, they want to know how much you care. So if you are trying to sell real estate and all you are focused about is the property, come and buy the property selling fast. Personal story, when I wanted to get an apartment, the the apartment I got to was not even completed, and the agent kept telling me, people have paid for the other two, it's remaining only this one.
Hmm.
I had things I wanted in my apartment, and I needed an apartment that I needed to move immediately. So
Hmm.
even after I left, the agent called me that, okay, am I ready to make payments? Without asking me questions, what do I want? What am I looking
Hmm.
for? Does this fall into my taste? How soon do you understand? So whenever you are talking to anybody and you are just concerned about what you are selling, shoving it down their throat, you definitely will not make any sale, and you will even lose that person from ever making any sale to that person. But when a person perceives you asking genuine questions to know their needs, to know their fears, to know their expectations, and you go above and beyond to ensure that it not just meets their expectation but exceeds it, and you consistent to meet that expectation, I promise you, you will not only sell, but you will have won a friend who will confidently tell other persons about you.
Yeah.
Then aside just the property, it is important that you care about them, their children, their family, their
Yes.
business, what is important to them. Some persons, it could be football that is important to them. Some persons, it could be philanthropy that could be important to them. Some persons, it could be church, they may be pastors, they may be ministers. If you should be able to connect with them on that level, it is
Yeah.
those little things, in fact almost insignificant to the real estate sales, that will make you succeed in real estate. So thank you. I think we are supposed to have um movie review now, but our time is fast spent. The movie we'll be looking at next week, this is me rounding up because I really want us to maximize time. The movie we'll be looking at next week is The Matrix. So we started with The Matrix 1, yeah. So we are going to continue with The Matrix. Okay. Doris, do you want to read, or do you want to copy and paste what they said on YouTube here so that I can see it? So I believe someone said something to add to the YouTube to someone said something on YouTube to add to the things that Owen and myself just said.
Yes,
So
so they said the person said, simply put, so we have quite a number of engagements on YouTube, both comments and fire emojis, reactions, and some questions or some suggestions. And basically, we have a response from Paul Ojaku. He says, I recall that part. It made me laugh because it's a common thing among African graduates, okay, together specifically. And he also said that, simply put, if you can understand people's desires, pain, and human psychology, you
Yeah.
are most likely to succeed in real estate.
Mm.
That's a very nice one.
thank you so much, Paul. I love that. I love that. So that's Barrister Paul. If I'm going, Barrister, if you have any legal matters, just meet Paul. Connect with him. He's an amazing man. So next week we'll be looking at, where is that conversation? Next week, first conversation we'll be looking at, I think it has to do with AI, but let me be very sure. Yes. It's robots. So next we'll be looking at how soon will robots disrupt Africa real estate market. Prepare for that conversation. That's the conversation we'll be looking at next week, Saturday. How soon will robots disrupt Africa real estate market? That's the conversation for next week. Then we are looking at this month, we are looking at the movie The Matrix. We looked at The Matrix 1, which was supposed to be reviewed tonight, but our anchor, our guest is not available. But next week, we'll look at The Matrix 1, 2, and 3. All of those movies are uploaded to a Google Drive. The Matrix 1, and you'll see several other movies too on sales, real estate, robots, AI. You should watch it, learn, and see reflect on it and see how it's possible to apply in our everyday life. For example, there was a movie we watched, I, Robots by Will Smith. This was long before Will Smith came out, and that movie, I, Robots, came out 2005. Elon Musk Robot came out in 2023 or 2024, if I'm correct. Almost 20 years later. But Elon Musk Robot is exactly the color, the coloring, the body movement is almost exactly the same with what was done in iRobot movie. That's how some of these movies can reveal some things. I hope you know there's a movie that talked about Ebola. In fact, they used the word Ebola. They described the disease Ebola before Ebola eventually came out in 2020. So there are even COVID. There are several things that movies will be telling you. That's why we always like to watch movies to also increase our interactions in this movie. So on Saturday, we'll be looking at the conversation, how soon will robots disrupt the African real estate market. We'll continue on our book review, your first year in real estate, and then we'll be reviewing the movie The Matrix. All of those movies are on the drive. Even the book is also on the drive. If you are in the community, you should have access to the book and movie review files. Once now says that actively participate in the book and movie review, especially the book review, drop your key points daily. You'll be rewarded in the coming Saturday session. We will revisit this conversation specifically on, is blockchain tokenization really viable in the African real estate market? We'll revisit it on Twitter on Thursday. This same conversation on Thursday. So you can, if anyone missed this, you want to get the more in-depth parts, that's Thursday. It's only this conversation we'll be having on the Twitter space. Feel free to join us as well. So without further ado, I want to ask, does anybody have any questions or contributions any further before we call it a day? Owen, Mr. Jake, admin, Doris, do we have anything?
Yo,
Mr. Jake, I didn't hear you though.
okay, you went on mute.
And I was asking if you had any final words or contributions.
All right. No, not at all. But I just want to say thank you so much, Mr. Joe. It is quite amazing to have you here again. And just for everybody that's joining us for the first time, this is our second series, basically the part two of the Quantum Africa series. We had the first one last week. It's basically we do two sessions in the course of the week. We do the one on Saturdays on YouTube here, and we also host one on Thursdays, same time, 7 p.m. on X. So I'd appreciate it if you guys can tune in. There's a lot of information to get around these conversations we're having. I want to say thank you for everybody who's joined. I also want to say thank you to Justina, who assisted us with some insight from the book that we're reviewing this month. There's a lot of things we do in the Blockchain Africa community, and I want to encourage everybody, Blockchain Realtor Africa community. I want to encourage everybody to join in. You can send a DM to any of our speakers, maybe to Mr. Joe, to Justina, or to the Blockchain Realtor Africa community pages across all our social media. Then you get a link directly to our WhatsApp community. Thank you, everybody. I don't know if there are any other things you guys would like to share, Doris, Justina, or Mr. Joe. And also, we also host movie reviews, book reviews every Thursdays, and some Thursdays, Thursdays of the last Tuesday, sorry, of the month. That's for the book reviews, and on Fridays, last Fridays of the month, or sometimes several times in a week, in the month, every Friday we host book or movie reviews. So thank you so much, everybody. More information about this is we share it across our WhatsApp platform. So I want to encourage everybody to find a way to get access and join in. There's a lot of connections, network informations, and people to connect with. So thank you very much. That's that. So, Mr. Joe, before we let you go, do you have any other thing you'd like to share with us before we wrap it up for
Not
today?
at all, not at all.
Okay, thank you so much. Any other person, Doris,
Thank
Justina?
you.
All right, thank you. Thank you, everybody, once again for joining. Thank you. I'm going to call names of people I see here. Paul, Manuel, thank you for joining in. Mr. Mo, thank you for joining in. Mr. Success Suru, thank you for joining in. That's my leader. Thank you, Mr. Mo, and everybody else. Thank you so much for joining in. Do have an amazing rest of your day.